10. Mysterious and unbelievable archaeological discoveries in Egypt that have scientists baffled. Welcome to the 10 Minutes Discovery channel. Dear friends, for decades, scientists have tirelessly searched for and uncovered mysterious archaeological artifacts and relics, the existence of which has raised countless unanswered questions. Despite relentless efforts, archaeologists continue to face significant challenges in deciphering the mysteries surrounding these discoveries. Particularly in Egypt, the land of great pharaohs and ancient enigmas, surprises abound. From the intricately crafted wooden coffins of the New Kingdom to dazzling offshore treasures, or even a 1,000-year-old ancient city, each discovery opens a new chapter of history, fascinating yet filled with ambiguity. In this video, join us as we explore the archaeological finds in Egypt that have left even the most brilliant minds on Earth puzzled for decades. The oldest Egyptian mummy covered in gold. The 4,300-year-old mummy of a wealthy man named Djed Sepsh, believed to be the oldest and most intact mummy covered in gold, was found 20 meters underground in the Geyser El Mudir area, near the shadow of the step pyramid of Djoser, in the village of Saqqara. This mummy was encased in a 25-ton stone sarcophagus within a tunnel dating back to the Old Kingdom. When the sarcophagus was opened, researchers discovered the oldest, most beautiful mummy wrapped in multiple layers of gold, with a headband and bracelet across the chest, suggesting he was a wealthy man. Among many Old Kingdom artifacts, there were two tombs, including one from the time of King Unas of the 5th dynasty, around 2494 to 2487 BCE. In another chamber, researchers found 3 statues carved of the same man, along with 9 others. These statues hold great significance, as they revealed the earliest knowledge of art in the Old Kingdom, including dual statues, single figures, servant statues, and various other types. The Step Pyramid, built between 2667 and 2648 BCE during the early 3rd dynasty, is the first pyramid that the ancient Egyptians ever constructed and remains the oldest stone structure of ancient Egypt. Saqqara, a vast necropolis about 32 kilometers from Cairo, is home to many remarkable relics. Among them is the temple of Queen Niaret, wife of King Teti, the first king of the 6th dynasty, discovered by archaeologists in 2021. In the same year, archaeologists also uncovered the tomb of the chief treasurer of King Ramses II, who ruled Egypt from 1279 to 1213 BCE. A collection of ancient bronze statues and coffins was also unearthed here last May. 3,300-year-old Egyptian remains with a magical ring. Archaeologists discovered 2 sets of ancient Egyptian remains dating back around 3,300 years in the south of the ancient city of Akhetaten, meaning Horizon of Aten, now known as Amarna. Among these findings was the skeleton of a man who died at around 35 to 40 years old, buried with textiles, carpets, and a toe ring made of a copper alloy, which he may have worn during his life. Researchers are speculating whether the toe ring was merely a fashion accessory or a magical object according to ancient Egyptian beliefs. The man's cause of death is linked to severe injuries, including broken ribs, femur, and leg bones. Wearing a ring on his injured foot's toe may have been seen as a magical device capable of healing, based on beliefs of the time. Previously, in 2012, archaeologists had also uncovered an Egyptian skeleton with a toe ring. Yet why the ring was worn on the toe rather than the finger and what purpose it served remain questions that scientists and archaeologists are still working to unravel. Mysterious treasure off the coast of Egypt. A team of underwater archaeologists, led by French marine archaeologist Franck Godiot, made significant discoveries at the Temple of Amun in the ancient port city of Thonis Herakleion, located in the Bay of Aboukir, Egypt. The team explored the city's southern canal, where massive blocks from the temple had collapsed during a catastrophic flood in the mid-2nd century BCE. The Temple of Amun was a place where pharaohs went to receive the power of world kingship from the supreme gods of ancient Egypt. The excavated relics included silver ritual tools, golden jewelry, and shattered perfume or ointment containers. These findings reflect the wealth of this sacred site and the devotion of the port city's former inhabitants. In addition, a sanctuary dedicated to the Greek goddess Aphrodite was found to the east of the temple, where archaeologists uncovered bronze and ceramic artifacts. This suggests that Greek settlers, allowed to live and trade in the city during the Saite dynasty, 664 to 525 BCE, also had their places of worship. The discovery of Greek weapons in the area further supports the presence of Greek mercenaries guarding the kingdom's entrance at the Canopic branch of the Nile, the largest and most navigable Nile branch for ships. A 15-meter monster resurfaces in the Egyptian desert. At an oasis in Egypt's western desert, the fossil of a monster with 5 vertebrae and 12 appendages was discovered, belonging to a new member of the massive titanosaurs, some of the largest creatures to ever roam the continents. Named Eigen Semku, this titanosaur was estimated to be between 10 and 15 meters long when alive. This new creature, part of the Titanosaurus family, known as the giant lizard, was unearthed from the Qusair Formation at the Karga Oasis and lived around 75 million years ago, toward the end of the Cretaceous period. Like other titanosaurs found in North Africa and the Arabian Peninsula, Eigen Semku, while massive, represents a smaller member of this colossal dinosaur lineage. Other titanosaur species in South America measured tens of meters in length and weighed up to 70 tons. The research team, led by paleontologist Eric Gorskak from Ohio University, believes that this discovery further supports the theory of an isolated Afro-Eurasian branch of titanosaurs during the Cretaceous and suggests that North Africa and Eurasia shared similar quadrupedal fauna during this period. A 3,000-year-old Egyptian girl with teeth in her abdomen. At the New Kingdom Cemetery in Amarna, Egypt, archaeologists found the remains of a young Egyptian girl. She was buried approximately 3,000 years ago in a cemetery predating her burial by several centuries. She was around 18 to 20 years old at the time of death. What astonished scientists was a foreign object located in her pelvis, a mass containing 2 teeth. Analysis at the Cleveland Clinic in the United States confirmed that it was a teratoma. At 3,000 years old, this is the oldest known example of a teratoma, a type of tumor that can contain muscle, skin, hair, bone, and teeth, commonly occurring in ovaries or testicles. It's not a part of any person, but forms due to the abnormal growth of certain stem cells, which can differentiate into any tissue type in the body. Teratomas can cause pain, swelling, and potentially infection if ruptured. Today, they can be surgically removed, but things were different 3,000 years ago. Previously, only 4 other examples of teratomas were found in archaeology, 3 in Europe and 1 in Peru. These exceptional discoveries often reveal new insights, from ancient health and disease patterns to the advancement of medical science, and they shed light on certain customs and rituals related to these ailments. Amarna, an ancient city along the eastern bank of the Nile, lay between the prosperous metropolises of Cairo and Luxor, the ancient Thebes. It was the center for worship of the sun god Aten under Pharaoh Akhenaten, who established his capital there. Although the city featured temples, palaces, and grand homes, with a population between 20,000 to 50,000, it was quickly abandoned a decade after Akhenaten's death, as his famous son, Pharaoh Tutankhamun, relocated the capital back to Thebes. The mysterious chambers of Western Abydos. Archaeologists recently announced a new discovery within the Sacred Valley south of the Royal Cemetery at al-Kab, in the western desert of Abydos. They uncovered a series of mysterious openings leading to rooms on a cliff face. Located near the towns of El Araba, El Madfuna, and Balyana, about 11 kilometers west of the Nile, Abydos is one of the oldest and most significant cities of ancient Egypt. This vast city holds the remains of Egypt's earliest royalty. Over time, it became a major pilgrimage center dedicated to Osiris, the god of the underworld. The openings on the cliff are believed to have had sacred religious significance. Some of the rooms in the cliff were formed by extending natural water tunnels that eroded over thousands of years. The shafts descend vertically along the natural water channels into the ground, though they are now blocked by debris. Some openings lead to single rooms, while others open to groups of 2, 3, or 5 rooms, interconnected by narrow doorways carved through the rock. The rooms are approximately 1.2 meters high, mostly undecorated except for 2 small carvings on one side of an entry point. However, shallow niches, benches, troughs carved into the floor, and numerous small holes are found along the walls just below the ceiling. No mummies were discovered in any of the rooms, but pottery and inscriptions found in one chamber mention the name Ku-Nahor, the mother of someone named Amenirdas, and her grandmother Nes-Hor, dating back to the Ptolemaic period, 332–30 BCE. According to Matthew Adams from the Institute of Fine Arts at New York University and co-director of the North Abydos expedition, the room's location within Abydos's sacred valley and their high position on the cliff likely indicate significant religious importance. Researcher Ashraf Abul Fatu Mostafa adds that ancient Egyptian caves are among the most important morphological features of the Nile Valley landscape. Researchers explain that caves played different functional roles in various regions across Egypt over the centuries, reflecting the people's relationship with their environment. Additionally, the geographical nature of the Nile Valley, cave morphology, and social and political conditions explain why natural caves were not exploited in pharaonic times and why artificial caves, especially rock-cut tombs, were used instead. The ancient Egyptians often preferred to dig chambers into the rocks along the Nile Valley, forming artificial caves for functions that natural caves couldn't fulfill. Initial burials were dug into the desert's edge near floodplains to avoid flooding, but later tombs were excavated at higher altitudes to prevent looting and destruction during times of social and political instability. Wooden coffins dating back to the New Kingdom. A coffin, funerary mask, and a temple dedicated to the deceased have been found during an archaeological mission at Saqqara, the vast cemetery about 32 kilometers south of Cairo, in what experts believe will rewrite the region's history. According to CNN, which cited the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, the team of experts unearthed a funerary temple for Queen Niaret, the wife of King Titi, the first pharaoh of the 6th dynasty. They also discovered 3 brick-built storage rooms containing offerings for Queen Niaret's tomb attached to the temple. Notably, experts uncovered around 52 burial shafts, each between 10 to 12 meters deep and containing hundreds of wooden coffins from the New Kingdom period. This marks the first discovery of coffins dating back 3,000 years in the Saqqara region. The wooden coffin surfaces feature illustrations of deities and passages from the Book of the Dead, believed to aid the deceased in their journey to the afterlife. Additionally, archaeologists uncovered 50 anthropoid wooden coffins, wooden funerary masks, a temple dedicated to Anubis, bird-shaped artifacts, and a bronze axe. Dr. Zahi Hawass, head of the archaeological mission, believes these findings will rewrite the history of Saqqara during the New Kingdom, highlighting the importance of King Teti's worship during the 19th dynasty. King Teti continued to be venerated by later generations, especially during the 18th and 19th dynasties, and Egyptians were buried around his pyramid. The remains of a mother and child in labor from 3,700 years ago. An international team of archaeologists from Yale University in the United States and the University of Bologna in Italy has uncovered a 3,700-year-old tomb containing the remains of a pregnant woman believed to have died during childbirth. The tomb was excavated in a cemetery at the Qam Ombo archaeological site in the city of Aswan, southern Egypt. The research team could not determine the exact cause of death for the mother and child, as no soft tissue has survived. However, according to Egypt's Ministry of Antiquities, the fetus's skeleton was found with its head positioned towards the mother's pelvis, a typical position in the last trimester of pregnancy. Additionally, the woman's pelvis showed signs of misalignment and fractures, suggesting she may have died while giving birth. Professor Sandra Wheeler from the University of Central Florida, USA, noted that finding the remains of a pregnant woman from this period is extremely rare. She added, "It underscores how childbirth has always been precarious, and the risk of maternal death was a reality women in ancient times and even today must face." Experts estimate that the mother in this ancient Egyptian tomb was around 25 years old when she died. Her body was wrapped in a burial shroud before being laid to rest. Inside the tomb, archaeologists also found artifacts such as a pottery jar, a red-colored bowl with a black interior, and beads crafted from ostrich eggshells. These funerary items were likely included to honor the mother's sacrifice and reflect the mourning of her family and loved ones. And one 800-year-old Roman city in Egypt. Archaeologists in Luxor, southern Egypt, have discovered an ancient Roman city dating back to the 2nd or 3rd century AD, believed to be the oldest and most important city found on Luxor's east bank. Mustafa Waziri, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, explained that a complete village was uncovered, including 2 dovecote towers found for the first time. These towers were reportedly used to house carrier pigeons that delivered messages to different parts of the Roman Empire. In addition, the archaeologists found the remains of numerous residential buildings and several metal workshops. Inside these workshops, a collection of artifacts was discovered, such as pots, pans, water jugs, bells, grinding tools, and bronze Roman coins. The excavations, which began in September, also uncovered a cache of tools, pots, and copper and bronze Roman coins. The newly discovered Roman city was found in Luxor, a modern city on the Nile River's banks, known for its famous Valley of the Kings and Valley of the Queens, designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979. Luxor has long been a site of numerous archaeological finds and new discoveries. This Roman settlement is thought to have been an extension of the ancient city of Thebes, playing a significant role in the religious, economic, and administrative systems of ancient Egypt. The mysterious 3-lobed disc. Anyone visiting the Museum of Antiquities in Cairo is often amazed by the wealth of artifacts preserved and displayed there. From treasures found in Tutankhamun's tomb to pharaoh statues and mummies, everything is remarkably well preserved. However, one simple object that visitors may easily overlook is the Sabu disc. This mysterious disc is round, with a diameter of about 61 centimeters and a height of 10.4 centimeters, and was discovered in 1936 by the renowned British Egyptologist Walter Bryan Emery. From 1935 to 1939, Emery conducted numerous surveys and excavations in the Saqqara burial grounds, one of the oldest and largest necropolises of ancient Egypt, where high-status individuals from the earliest dynasties were buried. Emery and his team unearthed many valuable and important artifacts, but nothing as peculiar as the Sabu disc. He found it in the tomb of Prince Sabu, the son of Pharaoh An-Najib from Egypt's first dynasty. Although Sabu did not inherit his father's throne, he was still interred in Saqqara. Emery speculated that Sabu may have been a high-ranking official, governing a province under the reign of both Pharaoh Den, possibly Sabu's grandfather, and his father, An-Najib. The prince's tomb, located on the northern edge of the Saqqara Plateau and 1.7 kilometers from the step pyramid of Djoser, was designated as Tomb 311. Emery excavated it on January 10, 1936, revealing 7 burial chambers, each containing items for the deceased. The largest chamber held Prince Sabu's remains and several burial items. Most of these were ordinary objects like animal bones, flint tools, pottery vessels, ivory objects, and stone bowls. However, one object stood out, a strange disc broken into several pieces. After the pieces were carefully reassembled, the Sabu disc caught the attention of leading Egyptologists. The disc-shaped object resembles a bowl with a rounded base, featuring 3 lobes intricately carved and separated from the rim by 3 protruding holes on each side. In the center is a thin tube approximately 10 centimeters in diameter. Made of metasilt stone, also called slate in some sources, the disc was crafted from a brittle, porous stone that is difficult to carve, especially with the fine details seen on the Sabu disc, which would easily chip or crumble under pressure. Archaeologists believe that the tools available at the time were made of stone and copper, so the precise craftsmanship of the Sabu disc, carved from such a fragile material, remains astonishing. This is one reason why the Sabu disc continues to fascinate scientists and others alike. Over the years, many theories have been proposed regarding the function of this object. Initially, the disc was thought to be a vase, incense burner, or simply a decorative item. However, this interpretation has sparked much debate within the archaeological and historical communities. Each discovery reveals new stories about ancient civilizations and offers humanity deeper insights into our history. These mysteries give us a glimpse into the lives, beliefs, and developments of the ancient Egyptians, igniting a passion for exploration. Although time passes, the unresolved secrets of this civilization remain a challenge for archaeologists and an endless source of inspiration for history enthusiasts. Egypt, with its thousands of years of history, continues to be a fascinating and enchanting treasure trove. What discovery in Egypt impresses you the most? Let us know by commenting below, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on more exciting discoveries. Until next time, goodbye.